Good morning and welcome to another edition of Research Fantasy presents our MLB DFS pitcher picks for Monday, July 17th, 2017. Got a nice slate of baseball for tonight. It is back in full force and exciting as ever, except when it comes to pitching options tonight. Now, this happens a lot. You somehow tend to get a lot of the upper echelon pitchers grouped together and they're making starts around the same time, and it leaves slates like today where Lance McCullers is the top pitching option, and it's really not even close after that. Everyone else carries a great deal of risk. So let's go through and discuss our three favorite options for tournaments today. Let's start off with Jerad Eickhoff, 12.8 fantasy draft, 6,900 FanDuel, 6,400 DraftKings. Look, I'm not 100% sold on him, but when I'm looking through the list, other than the two other names on it, I'm not sold on everybody and what their capabilities are. So he's taking on a Marlins team. They can definitely do some damage, but they're not an offense that typically goes heavy at a pitcher. Now, what I mean by that is it's going to be a lot of chipping away, a lot of singles, a lot of doubles. Sure, you've got Stanton, you've got Ozuna. They can certainly manage to do some damage with the long ball. But all things considered, I think we should be in a situation where Eickhoff should be able to minimize damage. He had a nice outing going into the All-Star break. I'm hoping that he's able to come out of it in a good spot as well. Speaking of guys who finally looked good going into All-Star break, let's talk about Julio Teheran, 16.2 fantasy draft, 7,800 FanDuel, 8,400 on DraftKings. It says everything about this slate that Teheran is our number 2 pitching option. He is good, but has just shown unremarkable control, the inability to get pitches across the plate for strikes this year. But like I said, he's rounding into form going into the break. We have to believe that this guy is a good pitcher. I guess we don't have to believe it, but I do. He checks off all the boxes that I look for in a pitcher. And maybe it was just one of those situations where he had a poor start to the season. And you could say that about a number of guys on this list. Jake Arrieta could turn around and end up having a solid outing. It's just really too difficult to say in the short term, but I like Teheran. The Cubs were an offense, and I'm sorry, it's John Lester tonight, not Arrieta, but the Cubs were an offense that really didn't look great in the first half of the season. They definitely have looked better in the last few games. It's only been 3 games since the All-Star break, but they look good, so it is a little bit bothersome, but I think Teheran has what it takes to be able to shut them down tonight. Like I said before, when you look through this list, Lance McCullers should jump right out at you. He is 22.4 on fantasy draft, 9,100 on FanDuel, where he is not even the top priced pitcher on the slate, despite having a significant strikeout upside and a better matchup, quite frankly, than John Lester. An 11.5 on DraftKings, where he is the highest priced play for obvious reasons. I would look for McCullers to be able to take down this Seattle offense. Double-digit strikeouts is certainly on the table, and I think he has the most safety. You can't really, I don't ever really feel safe with any pitcher because this is baseball. Variance is going to happen, and guys are going to get beat up pretty good, but he presents basically the safest floor and ceiling combination on a night. So he's definitely someone I want to have some exposure to. I understand it's unremarkable, but our top 3 tournament options are Jerad Eickhoff, Julio Teheran, Lance McCullers. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. Check us out at researchfantasy.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Research and Win. And join us again tomorrow.